So since we got a bunch of fellas that's watching the show,
Yeah.
we want to give them some nuggets. I'm going to start by asking you a question, though.
Monster trucks and Monster Energy and guy things, wings, basketball, hitting stuff with sticks.
Do you watch sports?
No.
We're the most unmanly man ever.
Dude, no, I feel like such a twink sometimes because my girlfriend watches more sports than I do.
Really?
Yeah. She's like,
Does
that team's playing today?
Her dad
I'm gonna
watches
watch it.
sports.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My dad, well, you know him. He like likes it, but he's never
He
been.
seems like he's versatile, though.
He's
not
never
like,
been diehard, you know.
I'm a concert goer. And, I will first say, and we're going to get back to the subject, but my wife was trying to buy me tickets to the Young Jeezy concert with the orchestra. Because when I saw Rick Ross, I was like, oh! But then I put Rick Ross with the orchestra. It's like two things that I love at one time. I was like, yeah, I got to go to one of those. So Young Jeezy is going to be with the orchestra in January.
That's going to be cool.
I was like, that'd be a perfect late birthday gift. See, I told you my birthday is
late. Yeah, it's a little late.
It's a little late, but whatever. I was like, this would be the perfect late birthday gift in January. My birthday is in November. But anyway. And she was like, all right, cool. So she started building the cart to buy the tickets for her and I to go to the concert. I was like, I even told her, I said, I got the black turtleneck. I got the long trench coat. The EVs, like, I'm about to look fresh. Excited.
But this is your passion, too, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
This is way more, like, I love concerts, I love music, but, like, you did music.
Yes.
You know? So
she starts to build a cart and says, are you sure you want to go to this concert?
Bitch. What do you mean, am I sure?
So I was like, what you mean? So she screenshots me the ticket. And y'all are nasty. I'm gonna see. Hold up. I'm gonna call out the company because I don't know, because y'all might book something for us. So,
I think I know where this is going.
Hold up.
How much for those suckers?
$1,900. It's a Super Bowl ticket. So.
It's a down payment,
and that's for the nosebleed.
Oh, well.
that was for nosebleed. $1,900 for nosebleed.
Yo.
So
Rick Ross?
Young Jeezy.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess I'm just not into popular bands then, man.
And this, is this a Ticketmaster show? I've heard about Ticketmaster.
Have you seen the stuff that's been going on there?
So
Ticketmaster is like the Atlanta parking apps.
It is
of getting concert tickets.
It is a Ticketmaster event. Okay, so that's gonna take us to a whole nother concept. Fellas, we're gonna get back to you, but we gotta talk about this. So you seen what Ticketmaster was doing with Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Right?
I saw it with the Gorillas. I saw the Gorillas and they like
How much was it?
It was
you
double.
went to go see it.
It was cheap, but it was double with Ticketmaster. So the tickets originally like I think like 50.
Okay.
They averaged out to like 98 at the end of it. They take like half of it. And they go, no, we gave you a parking space. It's like, I didn't need one, dude.
Wow.
By the way, the parking lot was huge. They couldn't fill it up if they wanted to. So, of course, the tickets are free. They knew they were going to fill it up. Like, they knew they wouldn't be filled, I mean. So, they're just making crap stuff. And, like, there's stuff like convenience fee. And then I say, okay, well, can I buy them there? No. Well, then how is it convenient? Like, convenient is me getting there going,
right.
Ticket, please.
Right.
Because we stood. Practically, we sat on the lawn, which I like.
Okay.
I like
That's
doing.
Cool.
It's
That's
cool.
a little vibe.
Put a blanket down.
Yeah,
it's
a
fun.
little vibe.
Really fun.
Okay. You was romantic. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, man, I love going. No, I like going to like the concert dates. That's the bit. Like you can't really have a concert date in front row when it's like you can't hear anything. You know.
I personally don't want the band looking at my girl and looking at her googly eyed, and then she's the mark, because you know when musicians are performing, they look for that one girl or that one dude and be like, come here.
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow.
Dude. Every time.
But, Ticketmaster, y'all nasty. But I get it. Because if y'all book our show for the Matt Lucrative Podcast,
then charge this.
Charge them. Charge it up. Run up the bag.
And I wonder how, because I love Camp, right? It's the band Camp. I love them. And they even put on their story because of the Taylor Swift stuff. They were like, look, we can't control this. Like even our shows, some of our shows, if it's at a Ticketmaster or like, conjoined arena,
right,
we aren't in control of it. And they were looking at their fans like almost paying double for the shows. And they're just like,
That makes me think, I love when my wheels start to turn. And maybe, I don't know if I want to put that statement on the pod. I might have to tell you after the fact. But I said, maybe us musicians and content creators should buy a stadium.
oh, that'd be cool.
Or buy a few arenas. That way we know exactly what we're charging. We know exactly what the markup should be and what the take home should be. And we own it.
That's such a good, like... the problem with communism is that it doesn't work. So it's like, in theory, that's beautiful. But and everybody gets in for barely free, almost free,
Right.
Pay enough to keep the stadium up.
Right.
Pay enough to keep it real nice and everything clean. And that's what I'm saying, but it won't happen, man. Whoever's at the top is going to be like, that's cool, but can I get more money? Because I do.
Charge $5 more per ticket. How much is that? Okay, charge $10 more per
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll let us buy this now. It's like
right.
You don't need that though. Yeah, I know what you mean. In theory, that's beautiful, and I'm glad your mind works that way.
It might work. We'll see. But I wanted to see it. Unfortunately, I know we talk about getting the bag. It's a recession for y'all and for me. So I'm smart. I'm not gonna just be $1,900 on some tickets.
I can't, man. That's no way.
Now
that's like what? How many months of a car payment?
I mean, shoot, a Tesla. I think when I looked at it, it was like a $500 car payment.
Yo.
So 5, 10, 15. So almost 4 months of car payment.
All that money
on a new Tesla.
On nosebleed tickets.
On nosebleeds. Like
put a down payment for something, man. Pay your rent for 2 months.
Now, if they, okay, I'm giving out jewels to the people that's like way bigger. If y'all stream this live concert and charge us $100, I would pay $100 to stream it.
Camp was doing that. They had live stream tickets and they were like vastly cheaper, and I appreciate that. I like that
because I got a nice little system at the house. Yeah. I mean, shoot, the whole basement could be a concert. I have wings and everything for everybody, whatever.
TV.
Exactly. So I'm looking. Yeah, stream that for me because I really want to see the concert, but can't pay $1,900. Okay,
people got to drive there.
Well, it's in Atlanta though.
You're lucky, but
because we live here. But
like so many bands I want to go see don't tour in Atlanta. They like skip Atlanta and go straight to Florida, and I'm like, I don't want to drive 8 hours to Miami,
right?
Or which is going to be way more than that. But
speaking of, I drove to Miami the night of was it the night after we got married? I had the bright idea, and this is so completely off subject, but I want to tell the story. So, me and my wife got married in 2011. Yeah, 11. And no, 2010 because this is 11 years. 2010.
That wasn't that long ago when you really put it into perspective, though.
No, it's not.
I mean, it is. It's a long time to be married, but when you think about it in a big scale, really, that wasn't that long ago.
It's not that bad, but not that bad. Not the best choice of words, but anyway.
Like I said, it's a long time to be married, but when it happened, it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
It's a weird.
So I had a bright idea. I felt like you were in my brain. I didn't even know you did. So I said, I'm gonna look at the map, and I'm gonna go. Okay, we're getting married in Charlotte, and we're gonna move to Georgia. So why don't we just drive from Charlotte to Georgia, stay in Georgia for a few hours, and then just finish driving all the way down to Miami and catch the cruise because the cruise is on the coast of Miami.
That's what you did for the honeymoon you went on cruise?
Yes.
That's cool.
So it was a bright idea, it's bonding time in the car, whatever. And
bonding time. Hopefully you bonded already before you got. And after we get married, we can get to know each other.
No, more bonding time.
I know, I'm just kidding.
And so we're driving, right? We come to Atlanta, we come drop some of our stuff off at the house we were going to rent. And we start driving to Florida. And then I started seeing like little black dogs.
I just don't know where this.
So I'm driving down 75. I think I'm in Valdosta by now. So not quite on the Florida line, but I'm like right there at it. So I'm driving. I'm like, yo, I'm getting tired. So she's like, do we need to just pull over and go somewhere? I'm like, no. We're good. I'm going to keep driving. So I'm looking at the billboards pass, and I'm like, I just saw that billboard like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, no.
So then I started seeing little black dogs on the expressway. And I remember my uncle said, if you get tired and you start seeing black dogs, you need to pull over and go to sleep.
Were you just going in circles?
No, I wasn't going in circles. I was just hallucinating.
You were having a Matrix moment. You saw the cat 2 times, man.
I was just like, yo. So at some point, I started seeing palm trees and I started seeing sand, and I was like,
you were thinking you were in Florida.
okay. No, we had got to Florida by then.
Oh, you never slept?
No.
Oh, no. And the black dog came to me and he said, go to sleep, go to sleep.
So I'm looking like, yo, we cannot do this ever again. I'm never going to drive to Florida like this. Like, this is stupid. Like, yo, when I tell you that traumatized me forever.
I still see those black dogs.
So I think we pulled over and we slept overnight in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
But I drove from Atlanta to Orlando. No, from Charlotte to Atlanta. From Atlanta to Orlando. Back to back to back to back.
Oh, man.
Dude, by the time we got to Miami to get on that cruise.
Oh, yeah. You were like,
whatever. Like, I hate you. She looking like this dumb motherfucker. This motherfucker. Why you gonna do that? Why you gonna just drive?
Signing the papers, Lord. Oh, man.
On the map, it looks so close.
Hey, remember? Well, was I with you when they said New York to Georgia is the same distance, or New York to Atlanta is the same distance from Atlanta to Key West?
Yep.
It's right there. You look on the map, you're like, it's right there. But no, the roads you have to take to get there, it's
not right there.
It's like the same distance, yeah.
Yo, and I guess I would look at it, especially if it's like Atlanta to New York. Look at all the states that you got to cross through.
Yeah.
And then you look at Florida, it's like, oh, it's right there. But no.
Georgia and Florida are both long states, kind of like top to bottom anyway.
Yeah.
And then New York is like what?
Right. It's
and
small.
Virginia's flat, at least, you know.
And Carolina's kind of like
Carolina are
yeah.
both like mediums. So yeah,
dude,
I've never driven up. Well, I've
Don't.
driven from Rochester to Atlanta. That is the
Rochester,
Rochester.
to like the top of New York.
Yeah. In a
You drove it.
Yes. Like 20 hours at the end of it. 20 something. Nuts.
How were you at the end of it?
Like a different person. I wasn't me anymore. I lost myself on the way. I arrived back at my home and I was like came out of war. Like I was in the trenches, man. My eyes were sunken. I was just like,
yo,
we had like 2 fights along the way.
Yep.
Like, who knows, man?
While we were on the cruise, I know I would think at some point, I was like, yo, I don't want to go back to Florida. Because I'm thinking about the trip that we got to drive back home.
Dogs are waiting.
Them black dogs.
You hear like,
why is she going to be driving somewhere?
I'm terrified. Those are spirits. That's what that is. Sandman demons.
Yes, definitely Sandman demons.
Sleep hellhounds.
All right, so we got to talk to our fellas. The fellas, what's up? We going to give y'all a clap. Big ups, big ups. Maybe the ladies can learn a little bit about the fellas too.
Yeah.
Like, use this as like a cheat code to manhood.
A life hack.
Yes.
To masculine energy.
I thought you were about to say masturbation energy.
A life hack to... No.
No. So the first question is this.
Well, it depends what you're teaching.
Depends.
Come
I'm
on.
not going to teach that though to another man.
Dr. Nito.
No. So the question is this. How many times have you let someone be disrespectful to you? How many times have you... Shut up. So I'll be like, yes, this is a question for me. How many times have you let someone be disrespectful to you and you let it slide?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yo, way too many times.
Okay.
Really, way too many times. I don't know. I feel like growing up, I always had that personality. I could just take a lot of
BS.
just BS, dude, and I would just like disassociate. I'd just be like, okay, you know. But sometimes no. Sometimes in traffic, someone just like merges without a blinker, like I'm not there, and I lay on the horn. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. But then sometimes,
so it's like zero tolerance.
yeah. But then
Okay.
sometimes someone just like yells at you at your job, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
like man, what
Yeah.
do you just like what's this gonna solve? And you feel nothing. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's really circumstantial. And then in my social life, oh yeah, in high school, I would just take it, man. I was such a doormat. You could ruin my life, and I'd be like, well, we just won't talk. Like, I mean, I was pathetic for sure. Nowadays, I'm just like, cut my loss. I'm just like, all right, you treat me like crap. All right, bye, I guess.
So I'm gonna ask you this: what made that switch? What do you think happened between high school? You say roughly.
Just getting more
To now.
self-respect because I was chubby. I was
Okay.
chubby. I looked weird.
Okay.
I acted funny. I just had like I was a late dude. I'm not going easy on myself. I was a late bloomer for like personality. I just didn't have one in high
Okay.
school. You know. I mean, I loved theater. I was in theater.
Okay.
I had the whole did the whole troupe, theater troupe stuff, right?
Okay.
I wasn't like it wasn't like Boy Scout. where
It's like
you're-
Glee
you're
Club type
you're
of stuff.
In. No, I mean, okay, yeah, it was, but nothing like the show at all. It was not
Okay,
like
okay,
that. Maybe
okay.
for some of the girls in chorus, but I was in like acting.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't like I was in music theater for 1 year, and they only did it because they just needed an actor. I couldn't sing.
Okay.
But yeah,
but as
dude.
an adult, you say
Oh,
you just
yeah.
cut
As an
your call-
adult, like I feel like me taking this job that I've had for the last like 3 years was just kind of. I heard, I forget who said this, but they said like me going through that time in my life, kind of doing a job I don't really want to do, was like boot camp. You know, I had to go and like learn to be a man, kind of, and learn to like respect yourself and your time more. Because back then I just didn't. I coasted through high school.
Okay.
Completely coasted through high school.
It's good that you can call that out about yourself.
Yeah.
It's good because everybody is not willing to be transparent with themselves and say, okay, no, this is what I was. at
Living
this time
a life
period.
that I did where I just don't know anything about anything and I was never sure about how people felt. Like the number one thing I knew I could do was at least get how I felt. At least like be self-aware. That's like if you have nothing in life, at least just be self-aware of yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing you can do. If you just continuously keep losing stuff in your life and you're just like, God, I'm such a piece of like be self-aware about it.
Yeah.
Like be like, all right,
Yeah.
you know what? I lost all that because of this. Was it my fault? Was it not?
Right.
There's still tons of times where I'm like, nah, that was not my fault. The universe took a crap like on me. I was showered in divine doo-doo, like it rained down, and I did not deserve that. But then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I messed up.
You
Yeah.
know, I would say the having somebody be disrespectful to me and then letting it slide. I can count 3 different time periods where it was just evident. It was mad evident in these specific times. One, I would probably say like the middle school, high school, like that in between age. Like you, I was like a fat chubby kid, and I did take a lot because it was like, oh, it's fat, or even with my family, I love y'all. I'm sorry, but when they would say, yeah, give it to Mikey, he'll eat everything. That's not a term of endearment.
Oh,
It's
dude,
like
certain family members would call me Chubster, and that was the name of like one of the Ford or Chevy trucks that were coming out. So I was dubbed Chubster for like
that's
3
not
years.
It's not cool.
No.
It's not cool. And then another time period would be music business. Early 20s, I just got into the business, and I'm not gonna say his name, but one of the reps was talking to my manager and was saying, Mag, because we were calling like, yo, what can we do to get Mag some more? I'm Mag. What can we do to get Mag some more placements?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'll just reach out to him. That's what he said in my face.
Yeah.
We'll reach out to you and let you know what's what. It's kind of the idea of I'll have my people call your people, and then we'll see what we can do.
Which just means like shut up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my manager calls back, and he's on three-way. I'm being quiet because he's like, you got to hear the real conversation and how they talk. So it was you know, in the blank blank building, sister to Atlantic, sister to whatever. But yeah, my manager says, what can we do to get Mag some placements? Oh, he's washed. He's done. Like, oh, he has one record in him. I mean, what do you expect us to do? Like, you want us to do whatever? I was just like, whoa, this is a complete opposite conversation that we just had. Whoa. I walk into the building, everybody claps. Yeah, on the Grammy nom. Congratulations. I walk out the building, that's the conversation. I took it at the time because I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of the bumps and bruises of the music business. But then once stuff started to tank and I saw that the music business wasn't businessing for me, I was like, all right, well, F it. I got to figure out something else. Yeah. Get money somewhere else, whatever. And then started to make money in another area. I realized, oh, no, that's disrespectful to me, for one. But all artists, well, I can't say all because some of them are happy with the deals. But a lot of the artists are being disrespected.
Yeah.
And they have to eat it. It's just like, oh, yeah, it's what happens.
Yo.
And then the third time was as a husband. I'll say that because I'm trying to make sure that we don't put too much family business out. I know my wife like, no, you ain't talking about that. So, but I remember trying to get my wife and my mom to kind of see eye to eye.
Oh man.
I was trying to get them to see eye to eye, and this right before we got married. And I was used to, like I said, the disrespect and tolerating it, where I would just be like, all right, you know, it is what it is, cool, you know, everybody, you know, I've always been a mediator. Everybody just chill, let's talk about this thing, whatever. But in one ear, it's wedding planning too. Oh, if you get there, you're going to... But I'm hearing one
I've
ear.
Heard some stories, yeah.
My wife to be is like, you need to talk to your mama. And then the other ear, my mom was like, you need to talk to that girl. So I'm like, okay. Like at some point, I said, I broke. Completely.
Stop it.
I told my mom to shut the F up or something like that. So she was quiet.
My dad would snap my neck.
Listen, I never did that in my life. But it was quiet. As soon as I said something like that, she said, first off, I'm your mama. You bet not ever tell me. I was like, all right, okay. I'm saying, my bad. But it was just, I broke because I was used to just eating it on all sides. And then now I'm in this new position and I got to man up. I'm just like, okay, who am I correcting in this at this moment?
Yeah, you have no dogs in the fight, but at the same time, you know, both of them, you're just like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Because when both worlds converge is when people have the most pressure. Like if you have two friend groups kind of and then they meet, that guy's freaking out. That guy's like.
Even with that.
Like, yeah, I'm friends with all of you. Mm-hmm.
Even with that, and I love all my friends, right? I might not talk to all of them. I might hate them with a passion. This one in particular, but I'm not gonna say no names because
I'm that way.
I would be giving them credit, whatever.
I super neglect my friends, man. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I do. They hit me up all the time, like, "Hey, man, you want to come to this party?" And I'm just like, "No," like because I'm busy.
Well, for me, we got to the point where I kind of had to decide, okay, I'm building a life with this woman. And I love this friend.
Yeah.
But the woman that I love is telling me about how shady this dude is and calling out different aspects that I've kind of just disregarded and just counting it like that's just their character. Like you just don't understand like that's how they are. But when you look at it in hindsight, it's like, oh,
yeah,
you are digging me to the end. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And that last straw, I can't say what it was, but I can say, but I'm not going to say. But that last straw happened, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. And when you're dead to me, you're dead to me. Like I'm like Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank. Like, congratulations, you
Yeah.
played yourself.
You
You're
played
dead to
yourself.
me.
You know, I've seen it the other way around,
What's that?
where it's like a guy's like, babe, like your friends suck. Like, stop hanging out with them. Stop it. No, we just have a good time. And then they go to a club and something goes crazy. Someone gets hurt, or just, you know, your girl ends up just getting completely played,
Right.
completely screwed over, and just bullied. And then they come back and they're in tears, and you're supposed to console them.
Yep.
I've had guy friends that have had this happen to their girlfriends, and just like for the life of them, some of them have even broken up.
Yeah.
And then the girl goes back with the friends and ends up out of luck because they are terrible people. And then she's alone. The guy's like,
Yeah, that's.
it can happen to the guy too, I'm sure.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
And we're about to wrap up, but I got a question. As it relates to how you deal with women, I have to make it general because you're in a relationship. I'm in a relationship, so we'll make it general.
Should have fun watching this.
Yeah. So when it comes to dealing with the woman that's belong to the streets at a certain point. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna play tag. I got a tag for it, but dealing with the woman that belonged to the streets,
Former street.
right at a certain
Enthusiast.
time, and now she's newly
Newly sidewalked.
newly saved.
She's front yard.
How do you deal with that history? If you find out, if she's transparent enough to tell you, I belong to the streets at a certain time, and you know, if you want to know, I'll let you know, but you know, we might run into a few people. Yeah, we might run into a few people that know the former me.
I've been that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be a hypocrite if I was just like, I mean, I wasn't out in the streets slinging, you know, I was not like a man whore, right? I was not doing, but like everyone's got baggage. I've got people that I didn't treat very well, and and vice versa, you know, I've got baggage where I'm like, no, I'm never talking to that person again. You know?
Well, what's acceptable and what's unacceptable?
That's the thing. It's just up to you, man. It's such a big variable game. I feel like she can't act like as soon as she tells you, if you've already been in a relationship and then she tells you, it's pretty unfair if she's like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, you have every right to be like, nah. You are now even though this is gone and this has happened, you purposely waited a long time to tell me. Well, now, I'm not saying you should treat her like who she used to be. Treat her who she is now. Okay. Vice versa. Same with the guy. I'm only using gendered words because of my perspective,
right.
but the girl is, you know, as well with the guy.
Right.
You should treat them who they are now, but you shouldn't just be like, oh, that's. You got to at least acknowledge.
So you won't disregard that then?
Don't disregard it, but don't act like that's still who they are.
See, it's hard.
Tons
for me.
of people have done crazy shit.
I'm one of them.
You know, but you shouldn't be like, oh, well, that's who you are. Then goodbye. You should be like, all right, you've done some crazy stuff, but I see you now, who you are now, and that doesn't affect how I still feel about you now. But I'm not gonna sit there and act like there is a little bit of baggage. But I don't know. I feel like it's up to you. Me personally, some of the people I've dated, no, I have not. There's a couple times where I have not been the best critic of who I've dated, and they've had train luggage, you know?
Well, I'm partial.
Yeah.
I'm partial because I have been on both sides. I've been what they call it, a mark, or what they call it, a zeep, or
I've never heard these terms.
when you're like the lesser guy, because it's an alpha male.
Oh, beta?
And then it's a beta. I've been a beta.
I've been a beta cuck.
Right? I've been a beta where you kind of accept certain things, and you know, she's a hoe, and you'd be like, but she's so pretty, and I'll just go with it, and you know, I just go ahead and take it. And I just saw buddy over here, Jason, that's been with her too, but it's cool, she's with me now, I can accept her for who she is. And then I've been the alpha. They'd be like, oh nah, like, no, you are a hoe. And I tell her, you are a hoe, you're done, and this and that. And I find that to be a hard acceptance to be with somebody or have been with somebody knowing that she belonged to the streets at some point and just overlook it? Like,
you know what it is?
What?
I think you have to do? I think you should ask them about it, and their reaction is what should determine what you should do. If you're like, well, how do you feel about what you've done? Like, I mean, it wasn't nothing. okay. If she's like, oh yeah, I was diabolical, like complete debauchery. Like that's some nasty stuff, and that's not me, and I regret all of it. I'd be like, okay, but if she's like, I got used and abused, and I liked it, I'd be like, okay, no, we're not.
But what if she's just a good actor? Because a lot of women be acting.
You got to find that out. Then that's what I'm saying. You should consider that. If you consider their past, and she has a record of. Okay, I've seen girls talk about this. If you date a guy and that guy's just like, oh yeah, fuck that bitch. Like, no, my ex is crazy. She's nuts. Don't talk to her. Don't talk to her.
Yeah.
If that's the way he is with all of his girlfriends, maybe this dude is just like totally pulling the wool over your eyes, and he's a massive, prick.
Yeah.
Because if every single one of his girlfriends was a nut job,
it's him.
Same with a girl.
Yeah.
Well, he's a abuser, and like what she. So what? She has a mile-long record of only dating abusers.
Exactly.
Like, dude. Okay, at what point are you just like lying about stuff?
It's not them. It's you.
Yeah. At some point, you have to date a guy who's like, yeah, he's sweet.
Yeah.
And all of them are trash.
Yeah, I think that's one. And I say that to say this. I was in the Walmart looking for something for my wife at some point, and I'm in line.
The Walmart that's still there.
Huh? What?
This Walmart.
The Walmart, yeah, that one ain't going nowhere. That's the one I like to shop at. But
don't go to it. Don't ruin it for me.
But I'm at the Walmart and I'm waiting in line, and it's me, an older guy, had a dope Burberry coat on. I love fashion. Okay.
Yeah, you like the coats.
Burberry coat, gray beard. I was like, that's me in like 30 more years. Right, chill. And we're both chilling in line. Of course, I'm talking. They were like, yeah, you got your Christmas stuff ready, this, and that. Like, yeah, I got a little bit more shopping to do. And we see some young girls walking by. Pretty cute, look like they're probably in their mid-20s. But all of them had this look. And they walking like this on their phone.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I'm married. I don't even want that anyway. I'm good. Right? And he looked like he was older and married. So we're both just chilling. But they walk by and we look at each other and we're like, y'all young fellas, the 25s, the 26-year-olds.
Yeah, rest in peace for us.
Yo, cause I don't like that. It's kind of like a sense of entitlement.
Yeah. That
I'm starting to see change. And I told my wife that too. I said, I think a lot of young girls are just sold to the gram. Like the gram purchased you. You're done.
They're sold to the gram, and all they know for experience is Netflix, like Euphoria and crap like that. Like that's how they think real life is. And they can say, no, I know it's a show. But you still act like the people in the show because you think it's like trendy or cool. People hate you.
It's even becoming it's a uniform. I call it the IG uniform.
It is, dude. Look.
It is a look. It's a look for the white girls, the black girls, the age. It's the lace front. It's the tight stuff, which I ain't mad at tight because I like my stuff tight too.
It's the girl with the SSR eyes who want to look at you and tell you how much they hate you. And it's just like, dude, like, where's this Beyonce level entitlement? I say Beyonce because every girl thinks that they're the queen now.
Right.
And it's like, dude, what are your qualifications?
and keep in mind, fellas, I will say this. I don't mind treating a girl like a queen if she deserves it.
Yeah.
Do that.
That's the whole point of marriage, dude. You're supposed to find the one and treat her good.
But ladies, like, I don't like where we're going. I don't like where we're headed. I know someone might tear me up when I make these posts, but...
Hey, man, I think it should be like companies. If you don't like the product, don't buy it. Just stop buying it.
Interesting.
Stop watching the show and they'll get canceled. So stop going out and looking for these women, and then they'll realize, I haven't had a date in like 3 months. Maybe I'm an incorrigible human being and no one likes me. And
to wrap it up, and I want to get your take on it because I thought it was low-key brilliant. So it was a radio show. I can't think of what I was listening to, but the guy called in and said, "I think we won't have as many divorces if we had the option to act as a license, which means after every year or two, you have to go in and renew your wedding license, your marriage license."
Wow.
Right? Because what's happening is people are treating marriages like it's just, oh yeah, I dated him yesterday and whatever. And then voila, the girl gets half of whatever the dude's worth. Or sometimes it's a high value woman and he gets half of her stuff. But if you do,
When?
I'm just saying,
No.
you got to make it even.
Yeah.
But
They don't.
but if you do all of that, well, what if we just do it every year? You have to renew your marriage license, and then you say, "How is everything working?" Because what happens is, you stay with somebody for a certain amount of time. Now, something don't work out. The court is going to get involved, and you're going to have to pay all those legal fees. Wherein, if you had to re-up on your license every year, and say, "Yeah, I'm still madly in love with this woman. This is my everything. We're gonna re-up for another year." What you think?
There's two ways that this plot can go. It's either a Black Mirror episode or it's a romantic comedy.
Okay.
I feel like that's a little messed up, you know?
Is it?
You're going to get people who like make it a career to just lie about their relationship. Like you know how many celebrities, I guarantee you their whole relationship is just fake.
You don't think we're already there though?
No, yeah, people do it all the time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, people do that all the time. I think it would be interesting to see for a year, you know, like, as an experiment.
Right.
I don't want to do that because that's gonna like completely upset society, and it's like not right. I don't want government to control anything, even marriage. Isn't it so weird? Like even the Equal Marriage Act thing is now being put into place, right?
Uh-huh.
Funny enough, by Joe Biden, like he actually gives a, you know, but marriage was never even a state thing.
Right.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought marriage, like, the cornerstone of it was religious. It's about a bond between
originally, And the state gets involved in
you, her, and God. Like that was the whole marriage trifecta thing. But
what happened is, we're looking at marriage from that time period.
Yeah.
And when you fast forward it to now,
I think
you add assets to it.
That's what I'm saying. I think it should be a different thing. I think this should be marriage, which has nothing to do with the state. It's between you and whoever, and under whatever religion you are, between you and her and your spiritual essence and whatever. And then you have, oh yeah, I got to go apply for my state companionship license, where like that's the actual marriage license.
Well,
I think it should just be two separate things.
It's kind of like that, but it's enforced by the state.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why it makes sense. It makes sense because what happens if that spouse does die and there is nothing in place to say,
yeah,
she owns XYZ?
That's what I feel like. It's important. You should still be able to do that.
Right.
Because,
but
like,
how is it enforced if the state's not involved?
No, that's what I'm saying. They should be. It should be a different thing.
Okay.
Because they're just calling all of it a marriage license. It's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I agree. No, we're way too in the future now to have anything not be facilitated or regulated in some way by the state or federal government. You have to.
And I promise we got to wrap up, but this is a good conversation. I saw online where Janet Jackson had to she married the guy overseas, and one of the things that he wanted, he said, well, you got to stay with me and you got to have a baby by me within 5 years before you could get any of my riches or anything like that.
Acceptable terms, to be honest.
But she was with him. She married him.
Yeah.
Had a baby within a 5-year term.
5 years. Okay.
Right at that.
Oh God, you old bag.
Right at the end, right when that 5-year mark was up, it's like, all right, divorce.
God. No, I'm sorry. I think there should be laws in place. It's called the no bitch law, where you're like, you thought. No, it happens too much, man.
Yeah, it does.
Like, look at Kim. Does she need? Does she really? Dude, at the end of this year, if he keeps going the way he's going, she's
She
going to
ain't
be
gonna-
worth double what he's going to
Yeah.
be worth. Why does she get the money still? I don't get it. I don't understand why that happens. I don't
You
understand
know why it
law.
happens.
I don't.
You know exactly why. Who's looked out for in the court system? I'll just leave it
The
at
other
that.
two words.
Yeah.
They'll win.
Yeah. But this has been real. I want to give a special shouts out, special RIP to Twitch. Mental health is real, right? I'll start there. I'll end there. Mental health is real. I think, fellas, and I've said this. I said this plenty of times. We've been saying it on the pod. Fellas, feelings and emotions and all that stuff can't be overlooked. It got to stop being overlooked. You're not Mr. Tough Guy because you can take 1,000 hits. Well, it is a little bit tough. That's gangster. But you're not Mr. Tough Guy if you got to take 1,000 hits from your job, 1,000 hits from your wife, 1,000 hits from your bank account, 1,000 hits from your kids, your car messed up.
Yeah.
Like when the world crumbles down on top of a man, a lot of us don't know how to respond to that. And then you get a situation like this. Because from my understanding, he invested in some cryptocurrency or something, and it was his life savings. And then the cryptocurrency is in a scandal, and he's done.
That one with the one guy. I heard he was finally jailed too. So I don't know. That's how I didn't look into it. But
Yeah.
dude, yeah.
So, yeah.
I think everybody today, at this point, knows someone who's committed suicide.
Yep.
It's crazy too, because back then, like, that just didn't.
Well,
even like child suicides was zero.
I will say
back in the
this.
day.
I will say this. I have been in a certain space mentally before. Probably more so college. Probably college. I was in the mental space where I was just like, yeah, I'm done. It feels better to not exist than to be here. Because everything else is just hurts. I just, like I'm saying, just the world falling on top of you. Now, thank God, I didn't act on none of those thoughts, but those thoughts existed. I don't personally feel like those thoughts go nowhere. If you get into a space that resembles that amount of weight, the thought don't go nowhere. It looks around the corner. It's like, is it him? Like a demon for real, like a
'Cause
demon.
It's an ending thought, dude. That's the last. That thought ends you to the end of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Now, friend of the show, we're gonna probably bring him on at some point because I love his takes. But Joffrey says,
Dude, I can't wait.
he said that was a bitch move. He gonna kill himself like that. I was like, why would you say that?
There's a lot of people who think that. There's a lot of. I've had friends who think that. I've had friends who have had friends commit suicide, and they're just left like angry. They're just left like, dude, how could you do something that weak, man? There's a lot of people who think that. I can't say that,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people who are just like, it's a weak thing to do because of how you leave everybody else.
Well, I think that's the importance of having some type of spiritual
Yeah.
backing, where you like, okay, I can lean on God or what's Chinese people do, Buddha, the Muslims
Buddhism.
do, yeah. Like I have this higher power to lean on, and that gives me strength where I can overcome this particular space. But for the people that's like this,
Yeah.
it's over.
If technology is your god, your god's a dead thing already. Don't.
Yeah.
No, it's just what, dude. Yeah, social media just wants you dead.
Yeah.
Stop buying into it because it's not real. Twitter isn't real.
No, it's not.
If you shut off Twitter,
Unless y'all want to back some episodes of the Man
Yes.
Lucrative podcast.
Sure. No, social media can be a disease.
Yeah.
And everybody has it. Doesn't mean you have to. Just like don't.
Yeah.
It's hard though. It's so much easier said than done.
It is.
I don't even post stuff, and I'm still on social media all the time.
Yep.
And I've noticed a huge change in happiness when I'm on it all week.
Well, you look at, and again, I just said it for the third time, but I think that the more we place value on material stuff, and I sound like the old guy, I know, but the more we place value on material stuff, the more your real life and your afterlife dissipates. Like you place all of your, I am this person, I'm worth this, and I'm da 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 da. Then you die. It's like, oh, what happened to my Lambo? Like, what happened? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm just this naked being in heaven. Like, okay, or the holding place. I don't know. Is it heaven, hell? That's a whole nother conversation. But
This is the phrase, man. You can't take it with you.
yeah,
It's gonna stay here. It's not gonna just go. It's like, oh, his Honda Civic is up with him in the sky now. It's not gonna happen. His Subaru went with it. It's like, dude, no. That's why my girl says this a lot. Because she often disciples me a lot.
okay,
She said, like, one of her big things that really stuck with me is like depression is of the world. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's of the world. Like, why do you live for stuff of the world? You
Right.
should not. Like, just live for what's next,
Right.
which is not here. You're living way too much for what is now, which I get it. You should live in the present, because if
Right.
you worry about the future too much, all you're going to do is have anxiety. And if
Right.
you worry about the past, all you're going to have is remorse and guilt
Right.
and, I should have done this.
Right.
That's just going to drive you crazy. So, like, live in the present, but at the same time, like, just shed the weight.
yeah,
Shed the weight of the world, because the more you live for the world, the more world you have on you.
yeah,
It's just going to weigh you down way too much. So just don't, it's hard. Again, way easier said than done, but
Yeah.
it's a good motto to live by. Don't live for the world. The world who hates you. Like, look at social media. It hates you, dude. It hates you so much. It wants everyone to fail, and the ones that wants to succeed are bought and paid for.
right,
Purposefully by Instagram or whoever to be shoved down your throat. They don't want you to,
Yep.
you don't see what you want to see. Hell, half the time when you subscribe or follow someone, you barely see their content. You see the content they want you to see.
All the marketing behind it.
YouTube's been doing that. It's aggravating.
yeah. But yeah, this was good. This was a good conversation. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful Christmas. Try to stay positive. Try to stay alert, because it's still scams out here.
Stay alive.
They love the grandmama voice.
The jelly
old
bean.
lady voice.
Because he said the grandma voice sounded like babe. Oh.
But we will see y'all on the 1st. Oh no, we'll see you in 2023.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See you next year.
Yeah, see you next year. Peace.